I want to read back to you a quote you gave to the Sporting News about your number 3 overall pick in this USFL draft, Bryan Scott. You said this: I had Steve McNair through Super Bowl 34. As a head coach in NFL Europe, I had Danny Werfel and Sean Hill. In the UFL, I had Troy Smith and Eric Crouch on the same team. Both won the Heisman Trophy. Bryan is in that class as far as his talent. My question to you is, do you stick to that?
Absolutely. This guy is going to open a lot of eyes when he takes the field in a few weeks. I'm excited for Bryan, and he doesn't really. It's not the kind of thing where he plays with a chip on his shoulder. He plays to prove everybody that believes in him right, and I think that partly, as he came up in college football, he was at a Division III school, and right away people make assumptions. And I kept looking at him, as a quarterback in terms of talent, and I'm going, what is everybody missing here? I can see that he has the talent, the ability, all the things that I'm looking for in a quarterback. He has, and this is going to be a great stage for him to show everybody exactly, what he's about. And he has a quick arm. He anticipates. He reads coverage well. It's just one of those things that you have to see it to believe it. When I had him in the fall version of the spring league in 20. We won every game. I have never gone into a game. I had him a couple times in the spring league, but that was when in 2020, the fall of 2020, we had like real games. And I mean, never lost a game as a coach that Bryan Scott started for me. So, I mean, that's something that kind of sticks with you, along the way.
Coach, to echo that sentiment, I got to know Bryan over the course of those 2 days at the USFL draft. I'll add here that he was the only player to stay for both days of the draft, helping you in that process. How invaluable was it for you to have him in the room with you as you were going down the list of guys that he's probably going to be throwing the ball to, and guys that are probably going to be blocking for him, and guys that he has played against and said, no, I don't want no part of him. Put him on our team.
Well, I think with Bryan, he wants to be totally involved. He wasn't in the draft room to make decisions. He wasn't, hanging around because, he was putting his 2 cents in. He wanted to be part of the whole experience. And yeah, I mean, there's certain guys that he's worked out with, that he's played with in the past. And if we had the availability to draft some of those guys and we felt the same way he felt about them, yeah, we drafted them. And, I always go into a game with a certain, you go in with a game plan. And I always tell the quarterbacks before the game, I say, look, is there anything on this call sheet that you don't like? Because the last thing I want to do is call a play they don't like. Well, same thing with players. Are there any of these guys in the draft that you absolutely have a feeling about in a negative way? Because I don't want to draft players that aren't going to get along, that aren't going to play together well. And yeah, I ran some names by him, and he was very good to say, look, coach, I don't know much about this guy. I really do know about this guy. And, he was very honest with us in that kind of a thing. And because he realizes that, so go the fortune of those players, so go the fortune of him, so I think it was really nice to have him there. He wanted to be there. He wanted to hang around. He wanted to be in the room. He sat with us at the desk the first night until the end. So I like a guy that wants to be involved like that.
My last bit on Bryan Scott, Coach, I was able to speak with a coach who worked with you and former NFL offensive coordinator himself, and Steve Fairchild. I asked him, hey, realistically, what is going on? Why isn't this guy in the NFL? And he says, You asked me that 2 years ago. I don't know what to tell you, RJ. Like, I'm really trying to figure out myself why he hasn't got more looks. And to that end, I penciled the Philadelphia Stars in as a team I expect to be very good coming out of the gate because you two have such a rapport. But then Coach Fisher, head coach of the Michigan Panthers, Jeff Fisher, gave me this to add. He said, next time you see Bryan Scott, can you just break his finger for me? Just so we don't have to deal with him. Thanks for watching this video. And remember, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any other videos on the #1 ranked show YouTube channel.